I'm Meisha. Welcome to As Long as You're Breathing, Keep Living. Yeah, that's new, so I almost messed it up. I want to remind everyone that tomorrow we have Maggie Sappho with us, and she's going to be talking about her Creating Balance program. And that'll be at 12:30 Central Time. So do join us for that. And that's a great lead-in for what I want to talk about today, which is the balance of reconnecting to self versus distraction. Now, I know last year you all heard me talk about reconnecting to self, reconnecting to self, reconnecting to self. That hasn't gone away. As a matter of fact, it's going to be a common theme with me forever because reconnecting to self is so important. And the word balance is not going away either because everything we do needs to have a balanced approach to it. I've brought this subject up before. Distraction is not a bad thing. We all enjoy being distracted sometimes. I'm not anti-distraction. There's nothing wrong with watching a television program or playing a video game or whatever it is you do for distraction. We're all entitled to distraction sometimes. It's entertainment. There's nothing wrong with that. The problem is when it gets out of balance, when it becomes our way of always having downtime, when it becomes escapism instead of just relaxation. See, in our society, what tends to happen, we get so used to being distracted. We have so many things going on that we aren't really always in touch with self. And so we're not really comfortable being in touch with self. And then if it gets too quiet, we're not really comfortable with that. So instead of doing something that comes from here and puts us in touch with here, where we may have to deal with what's here, we look for a distraction instead because that's more comfortable. That's not a balanced approach to life. And that's how we become ungrounded, disconnected from self. And I've told you all that we have, as a society, are epidemically ungrounded, which leads to health issues and emotional issues, relationship issues, job performance issues. When we're disconnected from who we are, we don't function at our best, period. We are not at our best when we are disconnected from who we are. Now, when I say reconnecting to self versus distraction, what am I talking about? The kinds of things that we can do, there are all sorts of things that can help us reconnect to self. But the things I want to focus on right here are something that came up yesterday in the interview I did with Sherry when I was talking about my music and how now I understand that when I'm working, say, on a website or whatever I'm doing, if a song idea comes to me, I stop and I write the song. And I don't feel torn anymore because I understand that, one, yes, it's therapeutic for me, and I've always known that. Two, I do enjoy it most of the time. But it does help me reconnect to self, and it's something I'm meant to stop and do. I'm meant to stop and reconnect with myself at that time by stopping, by giving myself permission to stop what I'm doing, reconnect with myself in that way. I actually increase my productivity, my performance, my health, my mental stamina, my mindset, my emotional outlook by stopping and doing something that centers me. It's not just, it also relaxes me, it's rejuvenating, it's restorative, all those things that entertainment or distraction, it's all those things too, but it's from here. So it has all those other components as well that just relaxation and distraction don't have. So that's where the two are different. Again, I'm not anti just relaxing, just distracting. That's fine, but within balance. Don't make it what you always do. I know people that all they do ever is walk into a room and they can't stand it if the TV's not on. The TV's got to be on. They have to have that going on in the background. They feel disconnected from everything if that noise is not going on. What the problem really is that they can hear themselves. They can hear themselves, and they're not comfortable with that. They need that bombardment of the outside because they're not comfortable with self, because they're used to being bombarded from the outside. That's what's really happening. They need the distraction so they don't deal with being connected to self. So we don't want to become that way. I've been that way. I was a news junkie. News played all the time. I grew up believing that we should know what's going on in the world, that it was our civic duty to know. And I was right. But talk about taking it out of balance, folks. I could tell you everything going on in the world. And I took it way too far, to the point that it was affecting my health. But the news went on constantly. And I was proud of how much I knew about what was going on in the world. But I had it out of balance. So then I went to healthier stuff. I went to history and nature and that sort of thing. Well, still, although it was better for me, it didn't weigh me down emotionally as much, it was still distracting me. It wasn't connecting here. But when I turned all of that off and I got back to writing songs and I started meditating and going inward and reconnecting with self, that's when I started becoming grounded and centered. My health improved. I started understanding myself and what was going on in my world and my own behavior better. And was it uncomfortable? Yes. But what was uncomfortable about it mostly was realizing how I behaved because I was so disconnected from self. That was the most uncomfortable part of it. We live in a world where we have been programmed to be distracted from self. Rather than take our power back and be who we are and live our lives to the fullest, we've been programmed to live distracted lives, which are less productive, less abundant, lesser lives than we actually have the potential to live. Being connected to self means we live our potentiality and we're making conscious decisions about how to live. When we are making choices connected to self, and when our downtime, our rejuvenating time, our relaxation time is based upon here and not mere distraction, we're going to spend that time doing creative things, writing songs, painting, whatever it is that you enjoy doing that is creative and therapeutic for you. Or we're going to spend that time building relationships. We're going to spend that time doing things that actually enhance our lives, not just take up time. That's why we want to do reconnecting to self. We want to center. We want to entertain ourselves from here rather than just from distraction. Again, there's nothing wrong with watching a television program or playing a video game, but it's when we do it out of balance. It's when we do it to avoid knowing what's here or facing what's here or doing what's here. And the other aspect of this is taking or making the time to do what's here. It's not a waste of time. It increases our productivity. It increases our performance. It enhances our lives. It makes us better in every way. Give yourself permission to take the time, to make the time, to do those things that are here, to work on those relationships that you feel here, to put the time and effort into what's here. And you will see your life become fuller and improved, more abundant, because abundance is not about money necessarily. You see, when we are living from here, we are happier, more joyful, more fulfilled, more complete. Our vibration naturally rises. And when that happens, we naturally attract to us more of everything, including money. All the things that we should be attracting to us are naturally attracted to us because we have naturally raised our vibration by living from here where we're meant to. So think about that. If you reconnect to self versus just practicing distraction, we've been programmed to be distracted. So we don't live these full, abundant lives where we are naturally attracting to ourselves that which should be in our lives. That's why this is so important. That's why balancing the two is so important. You're going to find that a television program or two is all you're going to really want to watch. Or a video game or two is all you're going to want to play. Or a little time on your phone is all you're going to want to spend. Because your life is going to be so much better reconnected to self. You're going to be living the life you came here to live when you reconnect to self. Take and make the time to do this, and you will see the difference. I promise. We're going to be talking about all sorts of ways to do this. That's what As Long as You're Breathing, Keep Living is all about. This sort of thing and many more related topics. This is my goal for everyone. The most abundant lives possible. We can all do this. We're going to do it together. So, tomorrow, we're going to do it talking to Maggie Sarfo again, and she's going to be bringing to us her Creating Balance program. And I bet she talks about some of this stuff. So, see you all tomorrow, 12:30 Central. Remember, as long as you're breathing, keep living.